Here we go, everyone. Welcome to the first match of the day here in the Colorado Open. Joven Bustamante breaks off to get us going, and we mentioned his break in the preamble there. It's going to be a bit of a factor in today's match, we expect. That's a good start.
Well, and the question is, what kind of factor will it have? Is it going to be a negative or a positive? And right this second, it looks like it'll work out well. Stephen Wyatt and Stephen Jamison here in your first match. A little bit of a change from our previous tournaments. Our match clock is now 40 minutes. And it's going to add a little pressure to these players. Pretty excited about this. The Open is always a fun event because you get to see a plethora of different players, maybe some that you're not familiar with. It's always fun to see somebody you've never seen before and they come out and they put on a great performance, and I think we might see a little bit of that at some point today. But I think we know what Joven is capable of. One of the highest rated players in the state of Arizona. His up score would probably be around 740, 750 if we're talking about Ultimate Pool USA League play. So very high-end player. Needs a little bump here. That's not going to get it there. He's going to be kicking at this ball. Problem is, where do you kick it? You got to just go for the hit. Watch out for the 8 ball. If you catch the 6 early, it might. Oh, that's unfortunate there. He had a great opportunity. He just had a little bit of a mishit. And we're going to get to see Dave Matlock continue to do what he did last night.
Yeah, the bar box legends takes to the table again. As we heard yesterday, he's had a bit of a new lease of life with the game in the last couple of months with the 2 events that the Ultimate Pool USA have put on.
Yeah, he's really enjoyed this type of tournament. Spoke with Adam Williams at the last event and said he wishes this type of event was around 50 years ago. But even at Mr. Matlock's age now, he's done pretty well for himself. Quarterfinals of the Kansas City Open, and last night we see him in the semifinals going out to the eventual winner, Mr. Justin Bergman. I don't know if I'm going to like this. And generally that all changes when they get to the table. Oh, no. Oh, he didn't scratch, but he didn't make a ball either, did he? Well, could have been disaster, but that cue ball just inching towards the pocket. So Joven's going to have an opportunity to
brave line that he played that one.
I lost my breath on that one a little bit. That 8 ball came ridiculously close to that side pocket. That's the great thing about this format is we talked about yesterday, it's for the spectators, for the fans, for the excitement. This is a little bit more for the players. Now there's still that excitement. The shot clock is going to drop down to 15 seconds if we hit that 10-minute mark. The races are a little bit longer. More tack. But it's not to say that we won't see that 15-second shot clock and that excitement of the possibility of a 6-ball shootout. Just less likely than it would have been yesterday.
Yeah. And I think the way that, especially in the early rounds, these matches are structured, and it doesn't actually follow in this particular game here between Joven and Dave, two very, very solid players playing against each other. But a lot of the rest of the early round matches here on this Saturday do feature, you know, some very, very big hitters against some players who might be having their very first arena time out there with Ultimate Pool USA. Some youngsters, some lesser known players. It's not to say that they can't spring an upset, but to say that it is unlikely. We saw a similar situation in Kansas City.
And it's one of those things that a great shot there by Joven, taking the rack. It's going to be 1-1, around 35 minutes on the clock. And I like to watch the clock, guys, because I like to see the difference in nerves against the absolute monster Tom Cousins. Only went out to Justin Bergman, who played flawless last night.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out as Joven's break woes continue. And it's worth pointing out, if you didn't see the shootout last night and you just saw the score maybe, and you think, oh, Justin Bergman won 6-1 against Tom Cousins. Oh, well, that just shows you can't teach American pool to those Brits and all the rest of it. Worth pointing out, it was a 6-1 finish. It was a flawless game. Neither player made a mistake in open table. Tom Cousins just couldn't get his break to work, and that is all she wrote. Tom had one visit to the table. He took it. He took a very tough finish out, actually, and that was all he had to go on. And a huge amount of credit must go to Justin Bergman, who, yes, he got the lion's share of the chances, but my goodness me, did he take them well.
Yeah, and that was a tough match for Tom, and obviously he's going to be a little annoyed with it, but he can't really be too upset because, again, the only issue he had was his break.
Yeah, he's not done anything wrong. You know, we had a scenario in the English 8-ball World Championship final this summer. Amazing final, ridiculous standard, and the player who lost in a race to 11, as Dave Matlock goes 2-1 up here, didn't actually make a mistake. Played flawless and was actually, I think, 7-2 up in that game at the interval.
People are crowded around the arena.
Oh, you can still feel it, yeah.
And, you know, day one was phenomenal. Day two is going to be great. And then obviously we're going to crown 3 champions on day 4. And we're featuring the Open, but we also have the juniors and the women's championship that will be on to day 3. And returning champions Kaden Herbach and Sophia Mast trying to come and defend their title. That's exciting. Obviously, Chris Melling here to defend his. So all 3 champions come back to try and say, hey, I'm still here. I love it. Uh-oh. That's not a good position to be in.
I think he's still got a shot. He can go up to the 1, but it's not easy from here. His biggest issue isn't continuing this visit; it's developing the 6.
And I think there was just a little lapse of judgment, maybe not taking enough care on the shot prior to that one, because he kind of bumped the 6 into a bad spot. But as we saw yesterday, Mr. Matlock is creative as creative can be.
Well, he's going to have to be here. He's not where he wanted to be. I wonder if his plan was originally to land the cue ball pretty much where the 8 is and maybe play the 5 off the 11. He's still going to try and do that, which is a much tougher shot. The issue was because he had to play it such a way. He's still not really on this 6.
Let's not put this out of the realm of going 6-ball to the rail off the 15 or off the 14 into the corner. It is possible. And that's what he tried. He just didn't get contact on the 15 ball. He's not left Joven the best of opportunities, but here's a good opportunity for Joven to say, hey, I can get out of this.
Yeah, it's not an easy chance, but he's got complete control of the rack here. The 15 and the 10 ball are a little awkward together, but he's got A lovely little angle to bump into them now if he wants to.
I actually kind of like, well, there's the bump, and that's good.
I like that shot because it was a free shot. He knew he was always going to be on the 12. Wasn't guaranteed to land nicely on the 10 and the 15, and he hasn't really, but the 12 was always there. He's still going to be able to take the 10, which is nice.
And you can see the nice little line he's got here. The ball in the corner, he just shot to the 12, to the 9, to the 15. It's a perfect around the corner kind of pattern to get to the 8 ball. Well, and he goes a different way.
Yeah, slightly surprised to see that.
He may be more comfortable with this shot to get onto the 8 ball, but I'm not sure I liked the going to that 15 ball first. I think he had unnecessary cue ball movement.
Yeah, I don't. He's played down such a line that he's almost tried to move the 9, but he's not played it with enough pace to really do anything with it. So I can only assume that he's played to land on it. It's just not a very good shot from Joven, really.
Well, he's going to have to really make something happen here. This ball does cut. Our referee keeping a very close eye.
Oh, it's such a good shot, you know. That's such a good shot.
Well, I can't fault his line too much because he's going to win this rack, I believe.
I'll fault the line. I won't fault the shot, though. The recovery was pretty special. The shot before wasn't much good, and I think Joven, if he could have that back so he didn't have to play the hero shot there on the 9 up the rail, I think he would.
3 o'clock maybe?
Yeah, he was the first match on the right side of the bracket. Yeah,
okay, so then maybe it was even earlier, maybe 1 o'clock. So the table may be playing a little differently now, so he might still be having those, okay, I got to figure out how this is going to react situations.
Well, one thing with Joven is, whilst he had some table time yesterday, he didn't have loads. His break struggled to get him into the match, and he was always chasing.
Yeah,
didn't really get a chance to settle out there, is my point.
Had a little bit of a unknown factor with Gabe Owen coming in as a replacement for Joey Gray, and Gabe played phenomenal.
Yeah.
Of course, Gabe took out Joven and played very, very well, and then we saw an absolute masterclass of a match between Gabe Owen and David Matlock. So that was a fun one to watch. And guys, I absolutely will recommend when we take a break, or maybe later tonight when we're done for the day and you guys still want to watch some more pool, if you didn't watch the shootout, it's live on Facebook and YouTube. Go watch that. It is incredible. Again, Justin Bergman with the flawless performance on the win, hoist the trophy. And I'm sure Justin's looking to add a second trophy to that. We haven't had a winner win both events yet, but I think Justin Bergman is more than capable of taking down the Open as well.
Well, you wouldn't bet against him, would you? There's still a long way to go. There's plenty of there's plenty of good players in the tournament, but Justin will be right at the top of the list in terms of the favourites.
As well as Tom Cousins, who we saw in the final last night.
Yeah, and plenty of others as well. One thing that I like about the Open event is you do get that little bit of time to build into your form. The shootout can be a bit brutal. You get no margin for error. You can play 3 loose frames, or maybe even 1 loose frame, and find yourself out the entire tournament despite playing really well all day. Thinking maybe of someone like a Ricky Evans who had one bad patch all day really and got himself bumped out. He's still running in the Open. Will be a danger to anyone.
Yeah, you know, the other thing I really like about the Open event is obviously as a league operator for Ultimate Pool USA, if you're one of those league operators, you unfortunately cannot play in the league, but you can play in these Open events. And I think today we have 5, maybe 6 league operators playing.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to get to see one of those league operators here in a little while.
You'd have to do a lot of heavy lifting there. Now look where Dave Matlock has placed this cue ball. He's almost cueing off the top rail. But, I mean, that's the best break he's hit so far. So maybe there's a bit of a secret there.
So the spot he broke from It's one diamond up, one diamond out. That's where I like to break, but I'm going into the head ball like that can be dangerous because a lot of times it sends the cue ball towards the side pocket, but he found a big enough pop that it just didn't happen. That was Joven's issues yesterday, is he was trying to get that pop.
Yeah,
and he
riding those side pockets hard, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So stripes the balls for Dave Matlock, and just look how well they've unfolded. That was a dream break for him, really.
Yeah, he couldn't have hit it much better. And that's the break he's going to need because he is down 1 game to Joven. This is a race to 7. Oh, and he just overcut it. You know what the bad part is Joven really doesn't have a great shot here. He's got one ball that he can see all of, and it may be a ball that he can make, but if you're starting this pattern, I don't think you want to start with the 6 or the 4.
Look how much left-hand side he's playing this with.
Oh, and he absolutely just crushed that shot.
That was such an impressive shot.
Yeah.
It was almost like, you know, watching on like one of those sort of like mini clip style games where you just put the aim all the way to the left of the ball.
Yeah.
You know, that works in theory, but execution in real life, that's an incredibly difficult technique he's just used.
Well, and the amount of left English he put on that ball helped him to throw the 6 ball into the pocket, but it's not something that I'm ever going to try because I would butcher the shot so bad.
Oh, yeah, so easy to miscue.
And what started off as a very rough pattern, Joven was able to make a great shot and really get into the line here. He just needs to now take it 1 shot at a time.
This is the key shot here. It's okay. He's played a very safe route, but the two don't link up beautifully here. 9 could be a bit of a problem for him.
And I like this with, yeah, just the stun to go to the rail.
Yeah, he's not tried to do too much there, which I think was the right call. Played that well. Joven's heating up. Dave Matlock has made a couple of mistakes in this match, and it doesn't take much, and all of a sudden Joven leads by 2 clear here.
It's going to be a great morning of pool.
Joven saved from the scratch.
Yeah, he got a really nice little bump there off the 6 that saved him. We got a little bit of an issue here with the 12 and the 3, but he can take that and move it right now. Pretty safely as well. Just like that. And that's the one shot that he needed to have the opportunity to get out here, and I think he's going to. What a beautiful shot that was.
Played that so nicely. Made that look a lot easier than it was.
It's always nice when you see these guys play and you watch them play And most of the shots they're shooting, you think, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm a decent player. I can probably do that. But that shot right there was such a touchy shot, and he played it with such perfect speed. I promise it was a lot easier than it actually is. As far as looks goes, it looked very, very easy.
Joven seating up here. This is finally the Joven Bustamante performance that plenty were expecting to see in the shootout yesterday.
Joven ran around with a gentleman by the name of Roland Garcia for quite a while. Roland, of course, one of the great Filipinos.
All right then, Dave Matlock, what have you got for us? 5-2 to race to 7. This is where it needs to start to just change a little bit and turn around for Dave Matlock. One good shot, everything open, and now he can get to work.
You know, Dave is very quick on his execution. I feel like in Kansas City, I feel like he was a little slower, a little more methodical. Seems like his pace of play has really bumped up a notch. And I'm wondering if maybe that's helping him a little bit with this resurgence like we talk about.
Maybe. We saw it a lot. I'm going to say the reason why I sort of compare the two games as different as they are, as Dave's short here. Talk about this in a minute. Dave's got a big shot to play. Oh, how well has he played it there? Cue ball.
Oh no, that's a bad luck roll right there, because he hit it very well. He just put a little bit too much juice on it, and just a little curve off that rail. These are slick tables. Or this table is slick, so that English taking a second to hook on the cue ball. And Joven's gonna look to get on the hill here, and he's got a pretty...
Yeah, I don't think he's missing
layout.
these. Yeah, this is as tic-tac-toe as it comes.
He's starting to learn.
My American vernacular's coming along.
Tic-tac-toe.
A roadmap, some might say.
The roadmap. Well, and this particular roadmap is as simple as can be, and that's the key. That's the difference between any amateur and any professional. There's two big ones, and it's consistency and simplicity. If you can be consistent and you can take the simplest out possible, that's generally how you win.
Joven Bustamante climbs the hill against Dave Matlock. Been a really good performance this from Joven.
A good break and a good spread is what he needs here. And a ball down.
Slightly funky layout though. Couple of things to work out. 5 ball has gone and sat right on the 8. Top left corner pocket. Needs some negotiations. I think he's just actually asking a rules question of Mark Goff here. Dirty combos aren't allowed to start the rack. I say not allowed, you can play them, it just won't keep you at the table. So were Joven, for example, to play stripe onto solid here, pop the solid and not the stripe, he would just turn the table over to Dave Matlock.
Uh-oh.
He's in trouble. He was not sure what to do there.
Wow.
He's played a pretty good shot considering. I just wonder if there's a shot he might be able to manufacture here where he plays off the 4 into the top left side.
Well, I don't mind just playing the 4 into the 12.
Yeah,
into
that's what
the 7, yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking he could do that with the cue ball now if you wanted to.
You're 100% right on that. And a little bit of firepower to move the 8 ball that's what he was trying to do, is just simply move the 5. But
he's had some run there, though, as Joven. He really has had some run. Because whilst he's promoted the solid by the 8-ball, he hit a pretty wild shot, and he's actually not made anything.
oh, look at this. Matlock going back to his chair. I thought the 6-ball was going to fall. You know, Dave got very, very lucky there because he fired at that kick. He could have broken up the 1-ball for Joven. Oh, no. Well, here's what's happened here. This is not a rule that you're going to see a whole lot in the UK because most of the guys know it, but it is going to happen here. You cannot play an intentional foul. It's different for us because growing up playing pool, I was taught, okay, if you can't get out, think defensive. Well, sometimes the only defensive shot I have is maybe to tie up one of my opponent's balls.
It was the same in the UK for a long time with very similar sort of gradual evolution in the rules, if you like.
But you know what I do like is that the idea of me, you know, hurting somebody else's balls by tying them up, all it does is make the game longer. We're trying to start the game, play the game, and finish the game, not stall the game.
Yeah.
So I actually do like the rule. Sometimes I'm on the table and I look at it and I say, oh, it's the perfect time because I could get ball in hand. I could put myself in a position to win. But it does make sense because we want to push the game forward. We don't want to slow it down. It's already can be somewhat of a slow game. So I do indeed like the rule. One of those that Joven simply wasn't aware of.
And he won't make again.
That's the one thing about that rule is we have seen that rule come up before, unfortunately, and it's one that will stick in your mind for a very long time.
Dave Matlock knocks in the 8-ball, breaks and runs the next rack. He's taken his free game. He's then broken and run one. And he's put Joven's break under a bit of pressure here. I'm not a betting man, Steve, but if I was, I think I'd have put quite a bit of money on that one coming dry because that's just how this game works.
When it rains, it pours, is what they say.
Dave Matlock looking to get back within 1.
I do want to give a nice little shout out to Mark Goff because from what I understand, that's a rule that does not come up almost ever in Ultimate Pool in the UK. So for him to be able to notice it and call it immediately, it's probably something that he's not used to calling too many times.
I can't imagine he's ever called something like that. But the thing is it's strange because once you get used to that rule, as you know, I have been now for a very long time, is that's just such a flagrant foul. Like you just can't miss it. It's a strange one. It's almost quite jarring in a way. But I completely understand where Joven's coming from.
Yeah.
It's a very understandable mistake to make. But it's one that's going to cost him potentially very dearly here, because since he played that deliberate foul, he is going to lose 3 racks in next to no time, and David Matlock is breathing down his neck now. He's back within 1, and he has the break.
And play his game to the best of his ability to win this match. 13 minutes on the clock. I highly doubt we are going to see that 15-second shot clock if Matlock keeps running the balls the way he has been.
Right then. No surprise to see Dave make a ball. Since he's moved to that location on his break, he's found good success with it. So he's looking at stripes here.
And he really does take no time to get around the table.
Well, this was the point I was going to make earlier. One thing we have noticed since in the shot clock and match clock era in the UK is the average speed of players has shot up quite a stark amount. You know, we've got plenty of old slow war horses in the UK who are used to taking you know, minutes on every single shot. That's a lovely
How
shot.
creative was that?
That's so good from Dave.
Wow.
That's so good.
I might have tried like the carom off of it thin into the side, but I never would have thought to hit it fuller.
Oh, he's not come far enough.
Well, Dave gets another opportunity to be creative here because this is a big one. This is the staying in the match versus giving Joven an opportunity at the table while he's on the hill.
Thought for a second that cue ball was going to knock the 14 into the bottom left. What's he left? Yeah, it's a chance for Joven. This is the chance that he probably feared that he might not get. An open run out to go and win the game.
Starting shot on the 7 ball. His biggest issue here is going to be getting to the 5 and the 2 and making them available. I believe the 5 can go in either corner pocket, but he's going to look at the, oh no.
Oh,
that's worst
fun.
case scenario.
That's the only spot on the table that he's completely dead in the water. It's not as even like he can play a hit and stick here because he's like touching ball on the 5.
Well, because of the touching ball rule, he could just roll one rail up the table, then back down, try and get behind this 1-8 area. If it is a touching ball, I believe it is.
Yeah, he could just go off the side rail and try and land the cue ball exactly where it is now, but that's risky.
Yeah, or just up against the 5 and the 2. I mean, there's stuff there. That's a good shot. Wow.
Well, he's played that perfectly. Very, very good shot.
Well, and that might be the shot that wins him this match that he was very close to losing. An immaculate story in this this match. The great play of Joven Bustamante, the foul that almost cost him everything, and now we're in a battle of attrition here to see who can get over the line. I made a bad call in the beginning of this. This was a what I thought was going to be a David Matlock run out at the beginning, but we are going to see that 15-second shot clock. So these decisions are going to have to come a little quicker for Joven and Matlock.
And Joven playing with his food a little bit here, but still holds the aces. Has he left Dave an edge here? Because if he has, Dave might think about potting this 14. I think he can cut this to the top left.
He's looking at cutting it in the top left and then going 3 rails maybe. And he's going to kick at the 13. Slick tables always kick a little funny. He hit it.
He did hit it. Just.
Wow.
I mean, he was looking to pot it. Let's not make any bones about that. But he'll take the outcome, I think. Joven's not got much to go at again. 15-second shot clock means there's even less time to think about it. He's left this.
That's not going to be good.
Oh, Dave Matlock just will not go away.
He's resilient.
Oh, no. Wow, well, yet more drama. That's amazing.
Well, this has just been a crazy match to start off the day. If this is how we are starting off the open event, I feel like me and you are going to be dead tired tonight.
Oh, that's incredible. That is amazing. Joven Bustamante surely will win it from here. And he will be, I imagine, a mighty relieved man to be getting away with this one.
Well, an incomplete contrast of the last match we saw on this table. Justin playing perfect against Tom. Joven's going to win this match, but I don't know if he's going to be appreciative of his performance. Joven Bustamante takes it down 7-4. He's going to send Dave Matlock to the B side. What a match that was, Steven. I think we're going to get a quick word with Joven in the arena. Guys, don't go anywhere.